I find it difficult to believe we would not be facing an energy crisis if we had maintained greater independence, including exporting significant amounts of LNG. After President Biden's ban on new oil and gas lease sales on federal lands and offshore, the administration continually gaslit Americans by saying there are 9,000 approved drilling permits not being used. However, we know it's one thing to have a lease, it's another for it to actually have the green light to produce on the lease after jumping through the ever-increasing regulatory hoops. All this to say we are nowhere close to realizing our nation's full potential as a global energy producer. And how would that maximize oil and gas production help stabilize these markets right now?
Yeah, thank you, Senator, for the question. I think the environment that we are in, and I'll speak about the Gulf of Mexico with regard to permits, we get permits on a regular basis. Every activity that we have has oversight by the regulator and requires a permit. And currently we're in an environment where the majority of those permits are issued regularly and do not disrupt our business. There are a few areas where, like I mentioned before, like in seismic permitting, where we do see a disruption. And on the leasing, leasing is very important to keep this conveyor belt of activities going and make sure that we have the feedstock of opportunities that we can evaluate to determine where we need to explore and where our barrels of tomorrow will come from. So it's very important that we keep that conveyor belt going. As far as additional supply that we can bring online and how to do that more quickly, I think there is an important step that needs to be taken to look at how we can accelerate the permitting and approval process, because that will result in faster activity and more oil and gas coming online. And that's really across all aspects of our industry, oil and gas, as well as renewables, because really everything has a permitting component to it. So I think that's a consistent thread that can be improved. And really those are solvable problems. There's not technical aspects that stand in the way of improving on that aspect of the system.